What would you say was the biggest reason why?
Define that for me.
As in, what do you think was the biggest reason why John let you go in favor of Jim? What,
Well, first of all, I had 5 tremendous years there, and obviously we won a ton of football games. And I think, at some point in time, sometimes a change might need to be made, and obviously felt like that needed to be done early on. I think there was maybe a little bit of setback, but I think Ray Rice said it best, and if quoting him, it was a wake-up call. And I think what Les just said is true. Good is not good enough. And Ravens are trying to be great, and sometimes you got to do something to get people to move in a different direction to try to be great. And it's a great group of guys. Couldn't be happier for them. And they made me, through the whole process, feel part of it. And it was really unsolicited on my part, but they were phenomenal through the whole process.
and you got to coach Ray Rice and Damian Thompson. What have you seen from Jeremy Hill and the LSU running back corps?
Well, I've gotten out of the habit of comparing guys because, you talk about those two, Ray and obviously the Damian. But, obviously, this is a very, very talented guy. I have not met him yet, and I'm looking forward to sitting down with him. I know I'll get with him in the next, not today, in the next couple of days. So, looking forward to watching how he works, how he goes about getting better. I think any young player knows that you got to keep getting better, especially in this conference and in this division. So, obviously great athleticism. Looks like he didn't catch a lot of balls. He can catch extremely well. Good things about his hands. But I think it's a good group. I think it's not you can't have too many good running backs. It's nice to have at least one good one.
Do you value you were asked during Coach Miles was asked about the possibility of this being something because you were available. You were a guy that was mentioned for a couple of other NFL offensive coordinator positions. Was this were you involved in talking with anybody else, or was it something that you kind of knew for a while you wanted to end up at LSU?
Well, number one, I knew it in my family's mind. I think we sit down as a family. I got 4 kids, and obviously my wife is 27 years. So it becomes at this stage in my career, it's a family decision, and everybody this was choice number one. And there were some other opportunities, but not one like that.
How heavily was it that you would be able to work with Les in your decision-making process?
It was critical. There are a lot of good football jobs in this country, in the NFL, and obviously some others in college. But the program that Les has developed here, and obviously the long tradition that is here at LSU, all those things factored in. I've seen every game in the last 8 years. Following Les, following his team, and I just remember texting him. And you go back to the text that I sent. I love watching your team play. I love the way LSU football players play. I love their fans. My sons and I brought my sons in here for a game against Florida 2 years ago. I think they'll be right home, and they left here with their jaws dropped. It's a special opportunity for us, and probably none better.
You talked about coming in with your ears open. You've got 2 returning quarterbacks in Mettenberger and Rivers, and you also got 2 true freshmen on here. What's your role in preparing those guys for spring practice?
Well, look through the next 2 or 3 days. I want to sit down and talk with them first, but just to simplify it is to help them become as good as they can be. I'm going to reacquaint myself with all the NCAA time rules. Making sure that, and I told them, I said, let's just make sure we're all on the same page on what we can and cannot do. But I owe it to them to allow them all to become great players and let them compete. Competition. I've never been around a great player that was afraid of competition. There's going to be great competition in that room. There's going to be great competition at every position we got on offense. But with those guys specifically at quarterback, it's just a matter of getting them as good as they can be.
You talk about competition. Is there open competition for this position, or is it Zach Mettenberger's heading into 2013 season?
I don't think it's the right time for me to speak to that. I think I'll let Les speak to that. And I'm sure he can address that at some point in time this spring. I know I'm charged right now to get Zach as good as I can and just build on what Steve had done with him and what he's done his short time here and those other guys. And then that's why you have spring practice. And you can't have too many good quarterbacks because the backup's one play away from being the starter. The third team guy's 2 plays away. All those things you know. So we're gonna get on all as good as we can.
Thanks for your time, Coach. Welcome to Baton Rouge.
All right, thank you.
What's your role in recruiting going to be? And how do you
It's not defined yet, but we're right in the middle of that process. And I'd like to give you more than that, but we had our first recruiting meeting this morning, and then we came straight over here. So obviously I'll be involved just like the other guys.
I mean, you mentioned that you kind of like recruiting and you missed it. Some other coaches might find that a little obscure, but what do you miss about it?
You know, it's just, I don't know that I would say I missed anything about it. I just think it's just such an unbelievable opportunity. I mean, you think about it. You get a chance to travel, could be coast to coast, and sit in a young man's living room and talk about LSU. You know, this is a world-class opportunity. I've known that for a long time, and now I'm seeing it even more. And I got 3 sons of my own, and they're all teenagers. And to think that someone can come in your home and you know, afford you an opportunity to come and think highly enough of you as a player and as a young man to represent this university, to me that's exciting. To recruit, you know, we recruit. One thing that's clear: we recruit as a staff. It's team recruiting. It's not one guy trying to out recruit the other. I'm excited about being a part of that. The guys already know. I'm gonna be visiting with all of them. You know, talking about you know, getting better as a recruiter, things they do best, things they would suggest in state, out of state, going against this school, going against that school. Just learning the process and doing my part.